about you and your work is, you asked why it is that I wanted to speak to you and that you were surprised that I would. I can't believe that you're surprised that I would want to speak to you. I think the stuff that I've learned about you and your work is, I think you're phenomenal. I think you're absolutely wonderful. I think the idea of working collaboratively to help women get more out of men, as in treat men in a way that they want to be treated, that causes them to behave in the best way that they can to serve their partner, to create this alchemy that ever refines and transcends and includes, I think is wonderful. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you. It's a privilege.
What is it that you're trying to achieve with your work?
Heaven on earth. Love. People choosing love again and again and again over everything else. It's probably the easiest way to describe it.
There's a lot of different routes to heaven on earth.
Yes.
What's the one that you've chosen?
Oh boy, there's so many ways to go with this. I would say the one that I've chosen has to do with paradigms. Exposing paradigms, revealing paradigms, reverse engineering, how the way that every paradigm makes certain things easy, simple, obvious, and makes other things impossible. And if the results that you want are impossible in the paradigm you're operating in, get a new one. Invent a new one. And even trade them out. Like, this gives me access. Okay, let's go there. And since I started studying men in February of 1991, when I found out I was bringing out the worst in y'all, which was great news. I don't know if you've seen that in any of the content you've watched. It was the best news. Can I swear?
You can swear as much as you'd like.
Oh, good. We have a policy about swearing, and that is that we do. But
we are pro-swearing. We are proudly pro-swearing.
But only because you can't separate truth from transformation. If you water down the truth, you water down transformation.
Oh, and you are molesting the truth by getting in the way, by limiting people's ability to use language.
Well, you water it down. And I'm all about potency. Mm-hmm. And so precision and potency, I think like an engineer, so reverse engineering, and then depending on the result you want, like there's such a thing as too potent for a particular result.
Yeah, it's too refined, too condensed.
Yep.
Yeah, I love the word precision.
Yeah, or there's, in some cases, I'll generalize. I'll generalize and I'll swing the pendulum so people can find themselves. Mm-hmm. So it's purposely imprecise, right?
Yeah, the best songs do that as well.
The best
songs, music songs. I think there's a degree. I think there's a degree of vagueness in lyrics. So for a long time, just because I hadn't thought about it enough, I assumed there was nothing that could be said in a song that couldn't be said in a book or a podcast, because I have way more words. I'm way more precise. I can explain, I can revisit, I can loop back, I can come from a different angle. But there's tons of stuff that you can say in songs, regardless of the fact there's a melody. There's stuff that you can say, this is a better way to say it, there's stuff that you can say in poetry that I can't say in a podcast.
Yes.
You go, well, the poem is limited by its pentameters and the syllables and the phrases. And how is that the case? Well, because the vacuum, the absence of explanation allows people to inject themselves into the story. and it sucks them in. So the purposeful vagueness resonates.
Well, that's why Keys of the Kingdom and the Queen's Code and the sequel to the Queen's Code, which will be the King's Code, that's why they're like there's sex in those books, but it's vague. The more explicit you are in a sex scene, then people are judging, like, do I want that? Or no, I don't want that. You just leave it, just broad brush strokes, and then everybody finds himself in there. They fill in their own pictures, and then it can resonate, and can get through.
Are men easy to please?
How rigorously are you using the word please?
However it lands for you.
Okay. All right. We'll go in then. So there's please and there's pleasure. And when men talk about pleasing women, they're talking about causing pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness. That's how you mean it. For women, which I assert is from being the smaller and weaker gender, by virtue of the hormones that kick in at 21 days of gestation, if you're destined to have ovaries, or sometimes I call them undescended testicles. We're just always going to be that way. The physical strength is a function of testosterone, and so because of that, and if you think of millennia of survival, mostly depended on physical strength. Earth is a physical paradigm. There's physical dangers. You need the brawn. And so, and it's lasted all this time. And I mean, you know, I've talked to thousands and thousands and thousands of women. And I would call it a human instinct, except for what I've been working on for about the last 5 years is how many survival instincts are consistent in humans, but they're not human. Like we share survival instincts with herd and pack animals. With herd our prey, pack our predators. So many of our behaviors are consistent with that, including status. Like the status determines survival. You gotta find it, build it, protect it, find your place that you want to be in the herd or the pack that's consistent with the amount of accountability that you want. Most people think of status as power, but ultimately it's accountability, the level of survival. And so we have all these behaviors, and pleasing is one of them. And for women, we're terrified of being displeasing. We strive to please and to avoid displeasing, and we're watching you so closely to see what's pleasing and what's not pleasing. The cave woman within has been tracking you since the moment you walked through the door. And you laughed at something. It's like, oh, okay, just like noticing. And you laughed when I laughed. And then I went and told you about the eyelashes. So it's a constant. You could think of it as it's a macro program, and it's running in the background. How about now? How about now? Is he pleased? Is he pleased? Oh, was he displeased just then? And we'll actually act upon it. Your expressions, your gestures, your tone of voice are cues to us to how to change and adapt so that you'll save me. Because we don't know who men really are, we think you're only going to save the women you're pleased by. And if the tiger arrives now, and we've just had an argument, right? Oh shit, I'm gonna die. That's what it seems like. And so one of the things this makes us really sensitive to is preferences. We're just a suck for what your preferences are. And we remember them. And we think we're paying attention to your preferences because we love you. And so if you really loved me, you would be paying attention to mine. You would remember which drink I chose, including that when I chose the other one, I chose the blueberry, right? And it's just one of 1,000 ways that we expect a man to be like a woman. That you'd be tracking my preferences. You would hear all the hints as requests. You would hear criticism as a request, a complaint as a request. Why didn't you do that? As a request that would cause you to act. And when it doesn't, we draw all these conclusions that would be what would be true for us. You didn't act upon that, so you must not care about me. It never occurs to us, it wasn't actionable. That comment did not speak to the action command center at all. And it has nothing to do with how you feel about me. So when you say please, are men easy to please? There are women who've spent their entire lives trying to please men, and you're not that hard to please. It's just not worth much. The point in a man's life for what he cares most about is being pleased. That's like all the hunting's done, all the building's done, all the accomplishments done, all the animals have been caught and killed and butchered. So now we're going to pay attention to what type of beer do we want. But that comes after everything that men are driven to do. We've created everything, we've protected everybody, we've provided for everybody. Oh yeah, no, I'd rather have a Dos Equis. It's so tiny, the meaning of being pleased to a man. But yet women are zeroed in on being pleasing, and then they miss the substance. They miss... would a man rather be pleased or empowered?
Wow.
Would a man rather be pleased or admired? Would a man rather be pleased or accepted?
Wouldn't the same not be true for women if you offered them that task, that option?
I wish women could be that clear. That was easy for you, right? That was an easy. Those were all easy.
Right.
So easy.
All my chips are on one.
So obvious, yes. Unfortunately, because of the meaning we attach to it, we want it all. We want you to strive to meet my preferences and my needs and honor my values without me really talking to you about what that would look like. And of course, the mischief maker of all, meet all my expectations without me having to tell you anything.
It's a surprise that anybody's able to have a functioning relationship at all.
Well, I've been accused of laughing too much. Do you know, in an interview, why is she laughing so much? I have to laugh. We have a principle in our company. We have a sense of humor about it all. I have to, because we're doomed. A surprise, it's a miracle. We have opposing instincts. We seek, the way I seek safety and you're likely to seek security. Men only use the word safety when they're talking about, okay, my family's safe, or you're safe to talk to. That's what men will say. She's safe to talk to. The rest of the time, you don't pay attention to safety. You pay attention to being secure. And it's fact-based. It's not a feeling.
Can you delineate between safety and security for me?
Some people would use them interchangeably, but I pay a lot of attention to the words men use. And as I just said, I've only heard men use the word safe in regards to safe to talk to, and my family's safe. Everybody's safe. Like the fires in Los Angeles. How are you? Everyone's safe. And security is based on there's usually facts involved in security. Yeah, I'm secure. I've got this much money in the bank. I've got this track record. I'm respected by these people. I have these people owe me favors. What are my connections? What are all my resources? Right? This is my influence. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're on track. This is going to turn out. And women who use the word safe a lot, and it's hard to convey, but we're always paying attention to safety. It's a constant. It's one of the estrogen creates a different kind of vision in women than in men. Hunting vision versus gathering vision. And part of that gatherer's vision is always monitoring safety. And for us and for children, for example, we're constantly monitoring safety, and it's a feel safe. It's not so much fact-based. It's a feel safe. And I remember my late husband, when he came to our Understanding Women course, and he started to get it. Living with me didn't always have him get it, even though he was my prime guinea pig, right? And whenever we'd blow up the lab, when it was all cleaned up, he'd say, "This is going to be in a workshop."
Yeah.
And I'd say, if you're willing, and he would say, if it'll make a difference. And he got so much acknowledgement when he'd sit in the back at the Understanding Women workshop, and I'm teaching men to understand women, and the women are learning to understand themselves at the same time. They didn't know this about themselves. It took about, I've been studying men, I think, for about 12 years by the time I realized I could translate a woman into a man's reality. And but he got it, and he got this thing like Greg was a car guy, right? He left me 3 convertibles, including his favorite, the Porsche, and so moving in and out of traffic, and that was just fun for him. But when he found out about women's peripheral vision, and that when he would move into a space, it occurs like that car's going to hit me on the passenger side. Or there's studies that show the faster an object's going, the bigger the difference between a man's ability to track it and a woman's ability to track it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So he would be he would be approaching, and to slide over. Remember, we're just come out of Las Vegas towards LA, and he's slide over, and I'm sitting there, and I'm having this terror reaction, and I'm trying to fight it with facts. He's never hit a truck. 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 Like, let's be factual. He's never hit a truck. Never. In all these years, he's never hit a truck. 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 While my body is like, we're gonna die. So, I'm not sure how we got there. But where do you want to go now?
Safety and security.
Yes, so if I'm pleasing you, then I'm feeling safe.
Because there's no way that a man who is pleased by you would not also look out for your safety.
We think that. We think that, but there's so many things that women trust too much, including trust. But one of the things we trust too much is connection. So we feel safe when we feel connected, when we're resonating, when we're like, okay, you're with me. We got this thing going on. Like the first time you went like that, and it was like, the reaction of my body to you doing that was just, everything's gonna be all right. Okay, we're connecting. But again, I
didn't do it for you, but I'm glad it had that effect on you.
I assumed it was real. But we're constantly monitoring it. So in the next moment, are we still connected? Are we still connected? But what I mean by trust too much is a woman will think, like women in sales, are mystified when a man doesn't buy. But we had such a great connection. You know, he doesn't ask her to marry him. But we have such a great connection. We should get married. Like anything that you don't say yes to when we have a great connection it's shocking. We think it should count for more than it does. Way more. Like interviewing men, 12 things that make a person the right person to commit to, the right person to marry. Love and connection are not in the list of 12. And they don't show up. Oh, we have a great connection. No. There's 12 things, and they're all factual. They're all practical. Men are so much smarter about commitment than women are, and yet you're accused of being non-committal. No. A whole other myth to blow up. I was talking to Ryan about it. Y'all are naturally committal. Testosterone creates single focus. Single focus is commitment. Specific destination, result. A goal. You pick it and your brain screens out everything irrelevant. It'd be really interesting to know what you came and focused on for today.
What did I come and focused on for today? So I have a tendency, like a lot of insecure overachievers might do, to focus on control, planning, reduce down the optionality of the future so that I know exactly how things are going to go. That makes me feel quite secure.
Yes. You want to blow that one up?
Has this turned into a fucking therapy session? I've inverted this into a therapy session or what?
It's not therapy because it's not personal.
I understand.
It's human.
Let me just finish that one out.
Yes,
I would love for you to blow me apart at any time.
I apologize for interrupting.
No. You interrupt away. I don't know what it is. I've done over 1,000 episodes now on the show, and sometimes I turn up with a real focus. There's something that I want to get out of this episode, And today, and because I'm trying to push my limits of discomfort around lots of patterns that have been around for a very, very long time, I really wanted this to be emergent. I really wanted to see what comes out of this. How does it feel to be in the room with Alison? Like, how do I feel around her, and what am I interested in? And I don't need to try and control. Oh, well, because in the back of my mind, there's a bit of me that says, well, I've still got the open loop around the please men thing. And she said that that's not what's most important. So I need to go back to that at some point, and I need to say, okay, please men isn't what's most important. Let's go through that. Well, she's just opened up this really lovely window about the 12 things that you need in order to choose whether someone's the right partner. So we need to go back to that. But she's also got this window open, which is that she needs to blow open my desire for security. So I'm like, I've got this branching tree that's sort of getting very tentacly. But I'm also I really, really wanted to get comfortable with just sitting in the flow and doing that too. So I'm trying to balance both. My intention coming in was to just really sort of sit and see where you wanted to go. I trust you. I genuinely trust you. And I think we were going to have an interesting conversation no matter what, no matter how weavy it gets or how much it meanders and lists around.
Yes.
I want to hear these 12 things. I think the 12, it's too big of an open loop for me. I'm sorry. My old pattern's coming back in to get me.
You put a pin in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things worth putting pins in.
What are the 12 things that people should decide whether a relationship is compatible or not based on?
Oh, I wouldn't say there shoulds. It's what I've learned men look for.
Okay.
That makes someone the right person. Okay, so we've got so many things you put pins in. Okay, I'm going to rattle these off without explanation, which is very hard for me to do. Getting to the point, like being concise, to me, it's like you sound cool, like when you say these things, but it doesn't serve people. It doesn't necessarily give them access to something. But I'm going to try anyway. Okay, let's see if I can remember them all. It's a long time since I led or watched that course. Okay, so one thing, let's just start here. Doesn't emasculate him too much. Too much changes over time. In your stage, see?
You're doing it. You're doing it. Come on, Alison, let's move on to number 2.
Okay.
God, you only got one in.
Okay.
We're 1/12 of the way there. Fucking 8%.
But it changes.
Okay.
What's not too much to a prince
is
way too much to a king.
Stop it.
Okay, stop it.
Doesn't emasculate him too much.
Too much. She likes him. Genuinely likes him. There's volumes on that. Sex. There's enough communication in sex. There's enough exploration in sex that he thinks that he could do this with this one person for the rest of his life. It's enough variety right here between us. Okay, we can do this. It doesn't have to be perfect or... okay. All right, I'm going to drop this one. He thinks he can give her what he thinks she needs. That's a cliff. How he figures out what she needs is a whole topic. Their values, as in where they come from, are compatible. They don't have to be exactly the same. They can even be complementary. Their futures have to be in the same direction. Are we headed the same direction? All of these are standalones, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Each one of them matters. Someone could be 10 out of 12. No, we're not going to do this. Oh, golly. Communication. So sex was one area of communication, but communication in general is productive. It's got to solve problems. It's got to identify problems, solve problems. On the same team, the way a man put it was, when there's a problem, she doesn't make me the problem. We stay on the same team. No matter what, we stay on the same team. Very hard for women to do. Okay? That's all I can remember right now.
That's okay. 8 of 12. 8 of 12. 8 of 12 is good. I see my friends and myself in all of those. There we go.
She's attractive to him, which women don't understand at all. She's attractive. What we would call him making sense of men, both sexually attractive, and he's charmed and enchanted by her. She's special.
I think women wildly underestimate how much men are attracted to charm.
Oh my gosh. Well, another topic, the 4 most charming qualities in a woman. You want to know?
Bring it on. Let's keep weaving this thing. This tree's huge. It's a redwood. Let's keep
going. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's an aspen forest, which is what I live in. Yes.
4 most charming qualities
in a woman. Number 1, self-confidence. It's hilarious because I've had panels of men say it's probably different for other men, but for me it's self-confidence. And they all say self-confidence. I've unpacked that for a while. What does that mean? Like about 20 years. The second would be authenticity. And men almost always use the word courage. When she has the courage to be direct, when she has the courage to speak up, when she has the courage to be who she really is, when she has the courage to say what she needs, when she has the courage to share her dreams, and authenticity and so much of being a woman is about pretense. Seriously, we're taught to pretend. What was it called? That bra? The wonder bra. Laugh at jokes that you don't think are funny. I mean, so much of being a woman, we're literally taught to pretend in order to be pleasing. And this is where we miss the mark. Men would much rather have authenticity than someone who's pretending in order to be pleasing. Now, will you take it? Okay, it's better than nothing, but not worth a whole lot. So self-confidence, authenticity, passion, which is, it ends up in the domain of marriage as well. The way that men put it is, she's got to have something outside of me, outside of us, that feeds her. So she's bringing something to us. can I go down this way a little bit? It doesn't seem to matter what she's passionate about, as long as there's a passion. A shared passion, though, is how cool is that, right?
Yeah.
And women wish that men would listen to them talk longer, but they don't know that how long you can listen to us talk depends on how we're being. If we're complaining, give me about 30 seconds. If we're talking about something we're passionate about, and it's actually been measured that being with a woman who's obviously, I've had a show of hands. Men spend 2 days with me, and I go, okay, how many of you have a greater sense of well-being than when you arrived? They'll raise their hands. It's a fact of a woman being passionate. You guys actually, it can be measured. You'll have a testosterone spike, which is the well-being hormone. And so, yeah, women's got to have a passion. And be passionate. And it's really cute how men talk about, yeah, my wife collects ceramic cows. I don't know why, but it's her passion, so I'll spend my time off buying her a ceramic cow. Like, it becomes worth it. And then the fourth one is the most difficult for women. Because, and they don't know why it's so difficult, because self-confidence, authenticity, and passion all shift how a man's being. And it's the opposite of sexual attraction, which self-confidence crosses over. But then there's shiny hair, which is an indicator of being fertile. There's a shapely body. All kinds of definitions of that. Men have no control over their imprint of the shape that gets them. Sensuality, being present to the pleasure your own senses are bringing you, which causes men to think of the pleasures that they would like to bring you. And then the most is sexual energy. And it's the way I used to say it was, it's the energy a woman puts out when she wants to put out. And so, but these cause a man to want to take. Give me that. I gotta tap that. One of the things I got in touch with about 15 years ago was, like, if we were paying attention, not just subconsciously. Do you like dogs?
I love dogs.
You love dogs. Have you ever trained a dog?
Try to.
So as in humans, we had the limbic system, right? Which is always a split second ahead of the prefrontal cortex, right? So this is the impulse to do, and then this choice, this can override. Well, a dog, I have a border collie, and when he was a puppy, I started training him as if he were a horse, which proved really effective. And his body would be shaking. And I realized that the shaking came from impulse override. And he wanted to jump up on me so badly, and he knew not to. It's just shaking. Well, what women don't know, and it's one of the crazy things about how much they lead with sexuality, is that a man is having the same reaction. That the impulse is grab it. Grab it, take it, carry it away. That's the impulse. And then he's overriding that. No. To whatever degree he has to, depending on how antagonized the most primitive instinct on the planet. It's why women feel really safe around gay men. There's no override. There's no vibration. There's no tension. You're just so easy to be with. But meanwhile, we exacerbate what makes it hard to be with a straight man because of how much we think sexual attraction is what matters. But this is what causes a man to want to take, and these other qualities, charming, is what causes a man to want to give.
What was the fourth charming quality?
Haven't said it yet. Good job. Receptivity. Because the first three make him want to give. But if she's not receptive, she's caused him to want to give. And then she's like, no, I can do that myself. No, I don't need that. And I'll prove it to you. I don't need anything you got. What? That's being a man? No way. Am I going to be receptive to that? You want to give me your opinion? You want to teach me what you know? You want to protect me from a danger that you see that I'll argue against? Like, men are looking for women who are receptive both to who they are and what they want to give, what they need to give. Men need to give. Women need to give. We need to give. But both men and women suck at receiving. Just suck at it. It's one of the best skills to work on.
You say that appreciation is a form of oxygen for men. How important is it for women to seem impressed or giddy or appreciative or receptive of their partners?
Well, I call it peacocking. I remember when I realized that my soon-to-be boyfriend was doing it, because I was with my husband for 20 years, so I had to relearn everything after he died. And so a man is attracted to a woman. He thinks she's special. There's something. You guys are so perceptive. You can see it across the room. Oh, who's that? Oh, she's special. Right now there's something at stake. Now there's a nervousness. Now being turned down. Ouch, right? And so he'll try to impress. But if she's not impressed, you guys know, if you can't impress her, your chances of making her happy, that's number 10.
We're going to end up excavating the remaining two.
Yeah, he knows he can make her happy. Huge. Men marry women they know they can make happen. Men don't marry women that they love, but they know they can't make her happy. They, if they can't impress her, like, this is a non-starter. If she's not impressed, which is like this much, how am I ever going to make her happy?
Well, I mean, I certainly know for me, the sense of being impressive is a wonderful motivator.
Yes.
Do more of that. Good boy points.
Points. Men play for points. And it's not, I don't know, good boy would be minor, but it could be, patronizing or matronizing, right? But good job, or wow, or there's a. Have you listened to or read The Queen's Code?
Yes. Yeah, read.
Okay, so Do you remember the line in there where Mike says to his wife, Karen, I'm always trying to impress you? And then she's like, then why don't you take out the trash? He's like, that would impress you? Well, that's our job. I mean, pleasing a man is tiny, like we talked about in the beginning, but to be impressed by him, he would so much rather that you were impressed by him than he was pleased by you. We're getting towards the bullseye here, not like the outer edges.
How do you advise women to cultivate more receptiveness, more displays of appreciation and being impressed?
I can answer that, but I'm going to start in a place that seems like I might not be, okay? So, this has showed up in the last year or so as I started letting the King's Code come through. You know I didn't write the books, right? Okay, so women have an instinct that anything important, we have to tell you when and where we were when it happened. They're all located in place and time, the important things. So I was in my car driving to Wyoming when the King's Code started downloading. On the day that I put on my calendar that I was going to start typing it. And it didn't get the memo that my daughter needed me. I was going to Wyoming. I'm not in front of my laptop. It just came. It just started coming. And what I was shown was how men and women both are always scanning for strength, searching, hunting for strength, scanning for strength, depending on the brain. And women are scanning for strength that tells me you'd make a good provider, you'd make a good protector, you could save me from the tiger, you could make sure I don't starve, and oh, with those eyelashes, I want to have your babies. I have kids with long eyelashes. So it's cute to watch. You're kind of blushing.
It's charming.
Adorable.
It's a delightful compliment.
So we're scanning. Procreate, protect, provide. Procreate, protect, provide. And what we don't know is that men are searching. And they're searching for strength. But what they're looking for, depending on the context, and let's talk about mating, men are scanning for complementary strength. Complementary strength. The way one man put it to me was, Tom Brady is not looking for another all-star quarterback. Tom Brady's looking for a Jerry Rice. Someone whose strength literally altered the possibilities of his own game. That's what a man's looking for, a wife. That she has complementary strengths that alter his possibilities. I'd be so much better off with her. I so should be with her. But women don't know that you're doing that. And this horrible thing happens, which is why I'm more on the side of age differences, because it can happen less. Not knowing that she's been picked for complementary strengths, then she criticizes him for not being strong the way she is. When what he needs from this person he admires for her complementary strength is that she's admiring his complementary strengths. This is what I bring. Why do you keep expecting me to bring what you bring? This is what I bring. It'd be like Tom Brady being pissed at Jerry Rice that he can't throw a ball. So women they'll be picked for complementary strength, not knowing it, and then they'll attack him. They'll criticize him for not being like her. And then instead of seeing his strength and being impressed by it, I mean, it's intoxicating in a good way to be admired by someone you admire. And it's like something happened to us. Probably in that vortex that I grew up in, a Barbie doll meets feminism. Very, very tough being born in 1960. I mean, you got to get a man, keep a man, try to make him act right, but never need him for anything. Anything he can do, I can do better. Oh yeah, this was my message.
I think it's still the message now.
It is. Yes, you have to have thigh gap and a man. But don't need him for anything. But he's got to make more money than you. Because how are you going to be better off with him? Which is the other part of the question you're asking. How can women get better at this? Is to pay attention to what you need from men. That even if you can do it, right? Even if you can do that, would you let him contribute that to you? Mm-hmm. And even to go looking for it. I gave this assignment to this woman. She's like, I have never met a man stronger than me, ever. And she's in our Smart Singles program. And I was like, okay, here's your assignment. I want you to, for every man you encounter, I want you to have a question at the top of your head, like a treasure hunt. It's all about listening is all a treasure hunt. Most people, the way they listen, they filter out all the treasure. What do I think about that is how most people listen. So I want you to have the question at the top of your head, how is this man strong? And when you've gotten used to that question, and every man you meet, you see strength in him in some color of the rainbow. Then move on to, how is this man stronger than me? Scary. It was so scary for her. She's like, I said, yeah, go looking. How is this man stronger than me? And I said, and after you've got that dialed in, then switch the question. How is this man stronger than me? And I like it. If you go looking for that, the whole world of men changes. What you can see who men are, instead of seeing how he's not acting like a woman, and so what's wrong with him and what's wrong with me that he won't treat me the way I clearly deserve to be treated. Oh, maybe I don't deserve it. Let's work on that. Oh, that's a nightmare. Whole other places we could go. But, yeah, it's a fundamental difference, actually, in men and women, where our brains are wired to find flaws. What's the imperfection? What's the flaw? What needs to be fixed? And we think when you're looking at me, that when you're looking at us, that you're doing that. Women don't know that men are fed by beauty. So men's brains hunt beauty, sort for beauty. You can find beauty in anyone. It doesn't have to be perfect for you to find beauty. Oh, that nose, those lips, like it just... Who wouldn't want to be fed, right? And especially if you're... my grandpa, he would say, I'm surrounded by pulchritude.
I don't know that word.
It's an ugly word for beauty.
Okay, all right.
Pulchritude. Yeah.
desire of men to feel needed and useful, I think is really interesting. And it is certainly coming into conflict with a modern environment that is teaching women that men are optional as opposed to mandatory investments in that way. I wonder whether career women who have spent years cultivating masculine energy in their job but also want to be looked after make it a difficult situation for the guys, because women can behave in a hyper-independent way, like you don't need looking after, so they get treated as such by men. So the very thing that they want is the very thing that they signal they don't need. And if men think, well, I've tried to do these things and she didn't really seem that impressed, and she's adamant that she's got it herself in any case and she doesn't really need me all that much, I'll just stop offering it. I saw this really fascinating Instagram reel a few months ago that said, in a relationship, men start off treating a woman the way they want to be treated, and after a while treat the woman the way that they have been treated by her. And this, like, I want, but I'm also really trainable. I'm super, super trainable. And after a while, this is what I've been crafted into. That was what I wanted, and this is what it seems like you wanted. And this challenge that women have here of blending a culture that says you should be as independent and reliant, self-reliant as possible, with men need to be needed. They need to feel impressive and admired and useful. And you go, well, if I'm just optional, if I'm a ketchup packet on your value meal of life, it doesn't make me feel very good.
Okay, you just said volumes. The place that you started. If a woman has the attitude, what do I need men for? What do I need men for? My assignment is answer that question. Don't ask it, answer it. So what do I need men for? It's another treasure hunt. What do I need men for? It's a great thing to answer and to look and to actually see there are answers. If I'm not proving I can do everything, what do I need men for? And I've done a lot of informal surveys. I was leading workshops 24 to 26 times a year for 20 years. And so I'd end up in mostly all women for a very long time, and then co-ed, and I'd do these surveys, and I'd ask the woman, okay, so think about how many women that you know are for you. They're your friends. How many women does it take to make you feel as safe as one man you know is for you? And I've watched them, and they're thinking and thinking and thinking, and then they start to shake their heads. There is no number of women that makes a woman feel as safe as one man that she knows is for her. And this is why this thing we were talking about, sexual attraction versus charmed and enchanted, if a woman is leading with sexuality and bringing out take energy in men, they're either scary or she's sure she can manipulate them, but she's still not going to feel safe. Where if he's charmed and enchanted by her, which causes a man to care, which is, you guys closely guard caring. Something else I learned from men. You know it's your biggest expenditure of energy. And it has this paradox, which is another thing I love about you all. You're the walking resolution of paradoxes. All the time.
Mm.
Women think men are simple. Men even say men are simple. No. No, not caring can feel like freedom. I don't care. I'm free. But not caring can turn into, I have no purpose. My life is shit. It's not for anything. Right? And then men have said, when a woman needs something from me, I have a purpose. It's just like, there's something really beautiful about it, and I think of it like this. You're making those other words. I think of it like this. I call it the stairway to heaven. Providing, receiving, in this beautiful dance, if we're allowing for it, if we're feeding it. And you asked about appreciation. Appreciation it's feeding. It's feeding providers, and providers are grateful to be received. You let me. I asked a man once, why do you do so much for me? He said, because you let me. Oh, women aren't very good at letting men these days. Haven't been for a long time. Letting men provide what they're compelled to provide. And so there's so much that's cattywampus, but the addictive thing is such tiny changes make such a huge difference. And like, I was teaching a course in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and we had just done that part about how many women make you feel as safe as one man. And we were finishing the workshop, and people were sharing from their seats. And this young woman took a microphone and she announced to the whole room, she said, I am gay. So what that means, men, is it doesn't matter what you do, I'm not going to fall in love with you. But I want to say that still what she said about one of you making me feel safer than any number of women is true for me. And then on the other side, this big man stood up, took the microphone, and said, it'd be fair to call me a redneck. And my daughter's marrying a woman. And they started to cry. But now I know from what that young lady just said that I still have something to give her. The tears coming down his red face. Another way I would put it, Chris, is that femininity is a gift to women from men. That femininity is its own kind of strength, feminine forms of power, its own kind of magic, mystery. I learned all this from men, by the way. But as long as we're being the warrior, we're the hunter, we're protecting ourselves or providing for ourselves, we have no energy left or space left to be feminine. Until we let ourselves be protected, until we entrust you, which involves information women don't impart. Honey, what makes me feel really safe is Oh. I mean, you said trainable. Decades ago, one of my first interviews by telephone was like, I was talking about how women have it backwards. What we take personally, we shouldn't. What we don't take personally, we should. And the woman said, so like women are dyslexic? They got it backwards? And it just popped out of my mouth. I said, yeah, if we treated men like gods instead of dogs, it would work much better. And then I apologized to a group of men for, I'm so sorry that if you live with a woman who treats the dog better than you. And there were men, I mean, you could see it on film, like the faces are just, you could tell the ones. And like, but even, so yeah, men are dogs. They're loyal. They want to bring you stuff. They're always happy to see you. They're so bummed when they think they haven't done good. Okay, where are we going now?
It's interesting the direction of the arrow of causation between these two things. I saw a tweet a while ago.
I'm trying to jumpstart me.
Yeah. I'm riling you up. You haven't even had the caffeine yet.
The direction of causation?
Like what?
Someone who's obsessed with cause and effect?
Of course.
The direction of causation?
Yeah, so I saw a tweet a while ago that said, women love to submit, you just have to be him. And I think the suggestion here is that a woman's inability to be submissive or soften up or show needs is because their partner isn't doing something right. And it seems like you've kind of left both sides open a little bit at the moment, that femininity is a gift from men to women, that is something that occurs because we were able to protect and provide and make them feel safe, maybe a little bit secure, but mostly safe. But also, women's...
I'm sorry. As soon as you said maybe a little bit secure, I was like, oh yeah, that's what this is about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Put a ring on it.
Yeah, of course.
Then I'm secure. You've promised all your friends.
That's a big statistic. Yeah. That it's men's job, it's their gift, the femininity. I'm showing up, I'm protecting, I'm providing, etc., etc. But also that the receptivity of women, the preparedness to say, I do need you. I want to need you. I want to be able to open up. I want to soften. Mm-hmm. I don't think that tweet got to me a little bit. Women love to submit. You just need to be him, because it laid at the feet of men women's unpreparedness. It was almost like a shit test. You heard of shit tests from Pickup Artistry? Do you know what these are? Okay. So supposedly during the flirtation stage, women would sort of throw little sort of neggy jokes around to see how a man would respond. It's kind of a test of your self-assuredness. Okay, yeah, women maybe do that in a little bit of a way. It's like, I'll poke you a little bit and see how you respond. Are you able to stand up to this sort of a thing? And I get that. And I think that in the flirtation stage, that's an interesting challenge. If you scale that across the rest of time, throughout an entire relationship, on every different domain that you're trying to relate to your partner in, which is, in order for you to submit, you have to be this never-stopping, unrelenting, completely omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent force that is able to blast through. So, well, women love to submit, you just have to be him, is exactly the same as saying, my shortcomings are your fault. My unpreparedness to open up, my unpreparedness to be soft or to be gentle or to be submissive, that's not on me. That's your job to overcome. That doesn't sound very collaborative. I'm wondering, when it comes to the direction of the arrow of causation here, how you come to think about that with regards to needing. There you go.
Oh, boy. I want a dictionary. I want to look up the difference between submit and surrender. Oh my gosh. Let me just I'll just say this way. In a certain context, I love to be ordered around. Tell me what to do, I am a happy camper. In a particular context. Other than that, so submit, to me, submit has an element of putting up with. Or submitting. Like one of the things I teach is beware of demanding. Demanding doesn't work because the other person only has a choice to submit or resist.
Interesting.
And both will create resentment.
I think with that, that is being used in the form of soften up or surrender, I think is probably what that means. So you're right to say, do you really mean submit? You mean maybe submissive, as in please take care of me, but not submit as in, okay, I submit. So I think you're right to call that out.
Yeah, so I worry about that, and the him part is an impossible ideal. Impossible. Men have a saying that I didn't understand for the longest time. I'm only human. I didn't understand that. I'm only human. And then I realized that women expect men to be omnipotent and omniscient, omnipresent. Oh, omnipresent. Every time I look at you, you're there, receptive to me looking back. And I realized, that's what women are looking for in men, that you're all-powerful, all-knowing, all-present, and men are going, but I'm only human. Oh, we really do judge men relative to what only God is supposed to be. And where there's a flaw, then... Okay, I'm talking about this, but I got to bring in this, okay? Do you remember very early on I said women trust too much? Mm-hmm. So I think men are much more discerning about this than women. Women want to trust, have a blanket trust. They want to be able to trust you. Period. I trust you. Early on when you said you trust me, I wanted to say, for what? Right? Because we just want a blanket trust, which most women mean that if I trust you, that means you're going to meet every expectation of mine. I can trust you to fulfill my stated and unstated expectations. To trust you to fulfill them even though you've never agreed to fulfill them. And that's, so we want to be able to trust you for everything. And if you do one little thing, now I can't trust you for everything. I can't trust you. So how would I ever surrender? How would I ever give up my autonomy and authority? How would I ever get on the same team and let you call it the play, for gosh sakes? Can you tell I love sports? And it's a great place to study, man. Oh, it's such a great place. So there's actually something people can look up. It's called the trouble with trusting the opposite sex. And I start with the trouble with trusting, period. And how we want this blanket trust, and then there's a blanket violation. Instead of what I propose, what I assert is you can trust everyone. If you pay attention to what you can trust them for. I could trust my husband to eat chocolate every day, no matter what he said otherwise. When he died suddenly, and the kids came and they wanted to clean out his office. It's been 6.5 years. There are still mice finding Hershey's chocolate and leaving the foil behind, right? And so, but what can I trust him for? And so part of the clarity that men and women both need, if they're looking for a mate or a business partner, what do I need to be able to trust somebody for? Be able to trust them for, meaning they're trustworthy. They've proven that they're trustworthy for that in order to have them be that important to me. In order to have my business in their hands, in order to have my life in their hands. What do I need to trust them for? And then find evidence before you commit. People commit way too quickly. The due diligence is like, oh, we have chemistry and I love him and he makes me feel wonderful and then I squint, yeah, I'm getting everything I need. Let's not look too closely at that. I trust that he will eventually. Once we get married and I start changing him. So the unreality around all this, it's primarily what we're doomed by. But besides opposing instincts, if we just were aware of opposing instincts and knew we had to negotiate opposing instincts, it can turn out. But being clueless about that, thinking men are a kind of woman and women are a kind of man, no, it's never going to work out. So this surrender part over here, right, has to do with trust. And what can I trust you for? And just being a grown-up, I can't trust you for everything. What do I need to be able to trust you for? What do I see that I do trust you for that? And there's evidence. It's based on evidence that I can trust you for that. Okay, cool. Is there anything else that would make a huge difference in my life if I could also trust you for that? And that's the thing to have a conversation about. And what would it look like? What would that look like to be trusted for that? Most women don't trust their husbands to load the dishwasher because he's not going to load it like her. He's going to load it so there's clean dishes. Acceptably clean dishes. It's one of the questions men ask me, like, are you going to close the door and have a party? Is that why everything has to be grouped just right? Okay. Then there's this other part that you brought up, needs. I've studied so long needs. When I first found out I was bringing out the worst in men, right, and went looking, what I was sure of was that men either didn't care what I needed or they were actively withholding it. Like to get me. This was really my behavior in my first marriage. Actively withholding. Oh well, we have our son, who's just like about 6 months younger than you. And then I found out men do care, really. They care about a woman. They care about what she needs, right? One of the 12 things. He thinks he can give her what he thinks she needs. And I thought, okay, cool. They They want us to give what we need. Oh, big problem. They don't know what we need. They think they know what we need. Things they think we need, and men will project onto women their own needs. This is how men project orgasms onto women. Please, can I just go to sleep? I don't need that. So men want us to have what we need. They're willing to do what it takes to give us what we need, but we have to tell them what we need. And when I start teaching women that, they're like, but what if I don't know what I need? And then I figured out a way for them to figure out what they need, which is awesome. It's like so logical. Like, well, first figure out what you want to be. What quality do you want to be? Well, then what do you need in order to naturally be that quality? It's actually really, it's like magic. You can be anything you want to be. So then I was doing this for years, and then this woman stopped me on a break and said, there's something I need from my boyfriend, but he's not giving it to me. And I said, have you told him? She said, no. And I said, why haven't you told him? And that was a really fun snort. That was awesome. That was such a great snort.
I've been practicing.
And you were like right there in the microphone. So I said, why haven't you told him what you need? That's what I started teaching women how to tell men what you need in 1995. And men thought it was ridiculous. How could you have a 9-step process? We're simple. And then I walked them through the 9-step process. They validated every part of the process. What would go wrong if they didn't do that? And you would have encountered it in the Queen's Code, chapter 6. And so this woman, when I asked her, why haven't you told him what you need? And she said, because I can't get over what I think about myself for needing that. It's like, what? And it led to this whole study. I call it the point of view. I identified 6 different points of view that men and women have about what it means to need a particular thing in the first place. And that what it means to need something in the first place is what causes this lockdown. Don't tell. Don't tell. And can I show you? You'll take your imagination. So imagine a spectrum. And on this end of the spectrum, having a need is weak and pathetic. And then moving this way, it might be selfish and self-centered. Or next over would be, it's unevolved and immature. A grown-up wouldn't need that. A transformed person wouldn't need that, right? And then it gets to justified and reasonable. Yeah, I could see why I would need that. That's reasonable. And then there's bothersome and annoying. And this is here for a reason. And the end is entitled and deserved. I deserve that. From you. Right? And I was thinking about this before you arrived. I was thinking, entitled. Entitled is a perfect word. I'm entitled. Because of my title, you owe me that. I am your girlfriend. You owe me that. I just did a course on how, even when they agree that you deserve it, it doesn't make it happen. But we think that. If I think I deserve it and you think I deserve it, now it's going to happen. So what we saw And it was so fun because you were talking about songs earlier. Alanis contributed to this. She was part of the weekend where I was distinguishing it with a bunch of people. And that basically what happens is wherever you are mostly live in regards to your needs, something has to work its way all the way over. Justified and reasonable might be expressed, because that's an okay thing to need. But most things have to work all the way over to, I'm now convinced I deserve this, and I've earned it, and you owe me, and I'm going to demand it. And so there are a lot of needs that don't make the whole trip, and so they never get told. They never get asked for. They might break the surface, like the tip over there, in a complaint. But a complaint is not an ask. Are you with me so far?
Mm-hmm.
So then surveying groups of women, and then later on surveying classrooms of men, most women will fall in their needs are justified and reasonable or entitled and deserved. The few that are bothersome and annoying, they just ignore it. But then when they're dead in a ditch, they're pissed at the people who should have foreseen that. I mean, it's really, really interesting dynamic. There's a lot of high performers here. And a lot of high performers here because they got to keep earning what they need, right? So then asking men, because we do this whole thing for them to figure out and find out themselves, and we got a whole grade of what they say and all that stuff. About half the men ended up in their primary reaction to having a need is that it's weak and pathetic. They just don't need. Y'all are like Superman. Have you ever seen a Superman movie where he ate?
No.
No. Slept?
No.
No. You guys think you should be able to do anything and everything without sleeping, without eating, without being appreciated, without having enough sex, without... right? And so needing anything, it means you're weak and pathetic, and don't dare. The warrior's never going to reveal a weakness. Never, ever. It'll be used against you. You guys are... It's another thing women are pissed at you about. You won't reveal yourself. Well, of course you won't reveal yourself. It'll be used against you. You're built to not reveal anything that can be used against you.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why men talk about what doesn't matter to them.
There's a nobility in stifling desires. I think that's how men see it. Maybe not desires is quite the right word, but there's certainly a nobility in suppressing what you need.
Yeah, it could be thought that way, that it's nobility, but if you just confront getting it out of your mouth, you'll see the fear. Like, no. Don't say that. It'll be used against you. And it's one of the things women want men to open up, but we always use it against you.
How?
You're trainable. We'll teach you to not open up.
How do women teach men not to open up?
Well, there's several ways. One is that you tell me a truth about you, and it's so yummy. Oh, he told me something really special about him. Who can I tell? So, for a woman, that an admirable man, a strong man, a cool man revealed something to me makes me important. Status. Herd instinct. But it's only worth something if I can tell someone else.
Cash it in.
Yes. So you'll reveal to us and we'll reveal to them. It's a betrayal from a man's point of view. That's a betrayal. But you'll find out that we did it because it'll come back around. The end with revealing intimate information. The other thing we'll do is we'll use it against you. So I used to be really cautious. Right? In 1995, when he started a workshop, it was called Celebrating Men, Satisfying Women. And I called it that to offend people who weren't up for it.
I imagine you did.
To just turn them away. Celebrating men? They're pigs. They're dogs. They're fill in the blank. But every once in a while, I would be like, you can do that? I want to do that. Right? And they, okay, come on in. It was limited to 12 women. They were so scary at the time. So I was really careful for a long time. And then as I practiced natural horsemanship and learned how to hold my space, and then I started poking the bear. So I did a teleclass called Using Anger to Get What You Need. Because I wanted to attract all the women who used anger to get what you need, or who wanted to use anger to get what you need. Is a rug pull. It doesn't work. And, but I brought them in so I could pull the rug. Well, then I did a webinar called Why Men Can't Be Trusted to Tell the Truth. Yeah, why can't they be trusted to tell the truth? And some of my graduates were just incensed. Allison Armstrong said this about men. So we sent out an email to all the men. And the subject line was we still have your back. And I told them about the webinar and that the subtitle of the webinar could be How Women Teach Honest Men It's Not Worth It. And because what will happen is a man will tell the truth. And he'll tell a truth that's been true for him maybe for as long as he can remember. For as long as he can remember. Or it may be a newer truth. It's only been the last couple of years or the last few months. But it's the truth. And he tells it to her. And she's upset about that. You shouldn't think that. You shouldn't feel that way. No, that's wrong. And because of how women are wired, where to be upset is to be displeased. Ooh, don't have anybody be upset. So women believe, they're just sure of it. Chris, they're positive. They're sure that if you know how upset I am about what you just told me is true for you, you will change your truth. That you will, just like I would have. You will change your truth. No, men are smarter than that. There was no problem with that truth until it came out of their mouth, until they told her. It was fine as long as it wasn't said. So this is how men are literally taught, trained, as he said, to not tell the truth. She doesn't need to know that. She doesn't need to know that. She doesn't need to know that. But women cause that. And another thing I recorded called Why Men Lie, Why Women Lie. And, I like to drill down. And basic survival instincts for all species, fight, flight, freeze, we have reactions. And I discovered there's fight line, there's freeze line, there's flight line. I gotta go. But as I drilled down into it, and my kids had been young, children lie, horses lie, dogs lie. I've seen it in all of them. And I realized that lying is a basic survival reaction. It's just fundamental to survival. Just lie. Puff yourself up, bigger than, right? Or hold really still. I'm not here, right? All these things. But once I saw that lying is completely natural,